I use Linux every day. It's my main operating system, and I really love it. It's versatile and very adaptive. Linux can do everything you want, but sometimes you need to try hard enough, or ask it very nicely, but that rarely has effect. Today, I'll explain my whole setup from top to bottom and from left to right. The Linux explanation. Before we dive deeper, I need to explain something quickly to the non-Linux people. Linux is an OS or operating system, but not like Windows or macOS. It's just a kernel, the base, where other people and companies build full systems on top of. These systems are called distributions, or distros for short. Some people, some popular ones are Ubuntu, Fedora, and Arch Linux. Distro choice. Now that you know what distros are, let's talk about my choice. Arch. I've tried a lot of options, but I wanted something fully in my control and something that doesn't send my data to Canonical or other companies. When you add all when you add it all up, Arch becomes an obvious choice. I love Arch because of the lightweight ISO, the image you write onto a USB drive to install Arch, and the minimal installation, no bloat, just the essentials. Distros are important because they partially decide which packages or apps you have access to. On Linux, apps are called packages and you install them through a package manager. Each distro has its own one. Ubuntu and its derivatives use apt, Fedora uses DNF, and Arch uses pacman, plus access to the AUR, the Arch user repository, where users can upload extra packages that aren't in the official repositories. Anyway, let's move on. I chose Arch. Desktop environment. The desktop environment you pick is super important too. It's basically how your system looks and feels. There are a million options, but the two big ones are GNOME and KDE Plasma. I used GNOME for forever, but I always found Plasma better looking and more feature rich, but I found it a bit confusing to use. So for this setup, I switched. I'm now using KDE Plasma with a few custom tweaks. I adjusted my panels, changed some keyboard shortcuts, and swapped the icons to my favorite theme, the Fluent icons. Little things. Now, let's talk about the smaller things, widgets and apps. I have 6 widgets on my home screen, and I really rely on them. The first two are CPU usage and memory usage. Super important because if either one spikes unexpectedly, I need to investigate. What's wrong? Sometimes this could be something simple, an app running in the background, but it can also be something seriously wrong. The third one is the Bluetooth widget, mainly for connecting to my earbuds, which I use constantly, and that's also the only use. The fourth and the fifth are the network speed and disk usage widgets. These are helpful for monitoring activity and storage. Right now, I still have 69% of my SSD free. Yeah. The last one, the sixth one, is the Files widget, showing my Nextcloud folder where I keep everything important. Really, everything. I host Nextcloud on my own server and I store all my files on it. I found it very important to keep control of my files and thus I have them hosted on my own server. Now for the apps. I don't have tons of apps installed, but here are my most important ones besides the default KDE apps. The Zen browser, a Firefox-based browser inspired by Arc browser, but open source. I use it for the extension support and because it feels like one of the nicest Firefox forks out there. I said extensions because GNOME removed support for adblocker extensions, for example, and I admit I use them. The second app I want to talk about is BTOP, a terminal-based system monitor, kind of like an upgraded task manager, great for quickly checking system health or killing processes, because you can really easily look processes up in BTOP. The third one is one I absolutely never use, but I still have it, because sometimes, just sometimes, it's needed. The tool is called WooUSB, WOE USB. It's a simple tool for making bootable Windows USB drives. And I barely use it, but when I need it, it's a lifesaver. The fourth app I use is Raw Therapy, a fantastic free and open source software alternative to Adobe Lightroom. I use it to edit RAW photos from my old Canon PowerShot G5. I really love that camera. It's small, compact, pretty good battery life, and it takes absolutely stunning pictures, although it's only 5 megapixels. The fifth app, and also next to last app, is LocalSend. It's an awesome, also open source app for sending files between devices. It works on desktop and on mobile, and I use it all the time to move designs from my laptop to my phone. The last app is Kden Live, my go-to video editor. It's simple, lightweight, and it honestly gets the job done. I'm tempted by DaVinci Resolve, but for now, Kden Live works perfectly fine for me, and I won't make the switch anytime soon, I think. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe comment. And thanks for watching. A lot.